Actor Ranveer Singh poses in the buff, and some of your knickers are in a twist. Why? I'm Barkha, you're with the Mojo story. These are the pictures that we are today talking about because the actor has been booked on charges of obscenity. This is quite literally a bummer of a controversy. I mean, there are serious questions to be asked about sexuality, representation, whether men's bodies are depicted the same way as women's bodies. But when you bring criminalization into it, it's hard to actually take all of that seriously. Still, we're going to try and unpack all of this with a very, very interesting combination of women speakers today, including the lawyer who thought this was important enough to actually take this to court. Is this really about fury or is it about 15 minutes of fame? And like I said, there are actually serious questions to be asked about how we push the envelope on the borders of masculinity, femininity, and social conditioning. So let's introduce our guest on the program today. Nandini Reyes, who comes from the world of advertising and is a media consultant, is with us. Mrinalini Deshmukh, one of the country's best known lawyers, is with us. Actor Kubra Seth is with us. It is her birthday, and I've got to first say happy birthday to you. And I'm also going to steal your joke because when we were doing the audio checks, Kubra said, "Oh, maybe I should have been the one in my birthday suit." So I'm stealing that joke from Kubra. Happy birthday, Kubra. Zainab Sikandar, journalist, commentator, but not so happy with Ranveer's photographs. We'll ask her why. Welcome. And Vedika Chaube, brave woman taking on five other women who think that her case is absolutely ridiculous and still doing that with a smile on her face. So, Vedika, you're walked into the lion's den or the tigress's den. So, welcome here. And it's great to have everybody with us. And Kubra, let me start with you. And let me start actually by asking you when you saw Ranveer in that photo shoot for paper, what is the first thing that you thought, or did you think at all? Should I be saying what's the first thing you felt? And happy
Well, I
birthday,
was
by the way.
gobsmacked. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. No, I was gobsmacked, Barkha, because it was just so beautiful for the eyes to see. I thought it was so aesthetically done. It was poetic, it was artistic, and it was uninhibited. For me, it was a really powerful way to express yourself using your body. I mean, as actors, I have a broken limb, right? And I know
Yeah.
how important our bodies are, which we use as vehicles to convey something through the medium that we use to tell stories. And for him to be so daring, so comfortable in his skin, I was literally gobsmacked. And I was so happy that someone did it because I think he is the first person in our industry to have done so. And
You're
he did
young. You're
so.
young. I remember Milind Soman and Madhu Sapre with the python around their neck. In fact, I think we have
Yeah.
that picture somewhere. So this has happened before. You just love Ranveer, so you think it's happened for the first time.
No, no, no. But also, then I'm sorry, but I'm reminded again. A long time ago, and not too long ago, Milind was running on the beach in Goa, and he was booked again for obscenity. This is done in a controlled setup, like in a room with lighting, with cameras, with effect, with so many people, and we are people who are naked with our emotions the whole time. I don't understand what the hubala is around like us doing this with our bodies. I just don't get it. I mean, earlier you had a problem with the nipples of women. Now you have the problem with bums of men. I mean, relax already. Have your chai.
Well, Vedika thinks that seeing Ranveer's bum is a problem, and we'll ask her in a moment from now.
You are
But
so cute, Vedika. Oh my God.
Vedika, Kubra finds you cute. Others are bewildered.
Others
I,
don't.
I was
Others
going to come
don't.
to Mrinalini, but let me ask you straight away. Okay, look, the cynics are going to say, Vedika, you did this because you would suddenly become nationally recognizable. You filed this case for your 15 minutes of fame or your 15
No,
seconds of fame.
wrong. This
And
is
I don't mean to patronize you. I'm just saying to you what a lot of people are saying. Why are you disturbed? Okay, look, there's a serious feminist conversation to be had about sexuality, whether men and women are treated differently. But you have filed an obscenity case. You've said you are offended as a woman. Why are you offended as a woman? Why?
see, because I live in a society, I live in a house where these things are treated. These things is done behind the wall. It's not open. Even at my place, I have two daughters. My husband, I make sure he doesn't wear underwear in front of my daughter. So I don't know, maybe I may be that what conservative, but must be there is lots of female who is liking that, who is appreciating his this pictures. But I am the one who am not at all happy, not at all. I cannot see such pictures on social media, on public platform. This is what worried me a lot, and that's the reason I went straight to the police station and I thought to register
Okay,
a
hang
complaint.
on. Can I ask you something? This is seeing Ranveer's nudes in a magazine is not really the same as Ranveer coming into my private space or into a public space and flashing himself or stripping. We have to be able to separate art and cinema and the world of arts from our actual lives. Otherwise, there would have been no Khajuraho temples.
Barkha,
Khajuraho, the mandir with when we even talk about our sanskar, I will reference you back to Indian culture before I look at, let's say, the Roman statues.
so we should post all his pictures, we should make some statue and keep it on public places. That's what we want, what you need, that's
Fine.
what you want.
What do you want the police to do? You want him to go to jail? What do you want? What do you want?
I just want he should apologize in public. He should
To
remove
whom?
all his pictures from social media platform. He can keep it in his mobile phone. I have no issue. Keep it with yourself. Put all your clothes down at your home. You have so big house. You have bought a house of some crores of rupees. You can do it there. Why you want to share it on your Twitter and Instagram
And
handle?
and you are disturbed at this picture. Why? I'm looking at this picture. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have even looked. I wouldn't have even
Apart
spent too
from
much time
Barkha,
looking.
apart from these five pictures, there
Yes.
are other pictures where you can see everything clearly. That is not acceptable. I have complained on these photos, but are you really saying that these photos are not obscene?
Yeah, I don't think they're obscene. I can have a
But I
debate with
feel
you. I can
this.
have a debate with you about, nude shoots and the politics of nudity in mass media, if you're willing to have that conversation with me. But I don't understand why you've gone to the police. Why is Ranveer Singh?
Because
Can we come
I
out of these
felt
pictures now?
ashamed.
Yeah.
Barkha, I felt ashamed of these pictures. I
So
do not want my family, my kids, my daughters, or any girl in my society to watch such
so so
pictures
so so,
of Ranveer Singh. Because
so
Ranveer Singh, just I'm saying Ranveer Singh, he is having millions of followers
okay,
who
let me jump
follow
in here.
him
Let me
in
jump in here.
photo.
Hang on, Vedika. You're saying Ranveer Singh's bum is disturbing enough to you that you want him to say sorry for showing it in public.
Yeah, I'm saying all about his pictures. Bum, I said because he is not having any clothes. At least he would have worn the underwear, तो भी कोई issue नहीं था.
Acha.
कोई-
Chalo, let's
Because
open this up.
I'm
Kubra, briefly.
starting
Okay, hang on, Vedika. You had the mic. Kubra, briefly, then Rinaldi. Kubra, go for it.
Oh, no. I was just saying that no, ma'am, he had an underwear on, if that's all. And that
Okay.
was too much.
And that was too much. Okay. Okay, Mrinalini. Is this a trivialization of the
Vedika,
law?
Vedika,
Yeah.
the sections that you have, sort of, the FIR sections which are there, and this again, I'm going by what I've read in the media. I have no personal knowledge of the FIR, or I have not read the contents of it. One of the sections that you're talking about is outraging a modesty. Now, in what way have such pictures outraged? Just to take an example, your modesty. You have not seen him. He's not in front of you. He doesn't even know you, I believe. He's not even come into contact with you. In what way has he outraged your modesty? Number one. Number two, if you felt so strongly about it, and maybe as an activist or whatever you felt is there could have been a better way of sending him a legal notice that this is what you feel, or your client feels, or whoever the complainant is, and probably asking him for what his version is. What was the need to go to the police, asking the police to register an FIR under the various sections? And I have just taken it down for the sort of concern of all: 292, 293, 354, 509, and 67A of the Information Technology Act. Now, these are very, very serious kind of provisions in the IPC, which are meant for what they are. Now, for a person of, and this is not about a celebrity, this is not about Ranveer Singh. I'm talking to you as a person to person. If there was an XYZ person, probably it would not have mattered to you. It matters to you today because it is Mr. Ranveer Singh, who is a celebrity, and who is one of the top heroes of, and everybody finds him very hot, and everybody finds him very
You find
attractive.
him? Do you find him hot, Mrinal?
Why not? Why not?
Just asking. Just
Yes,
asking.
yes, it is. And
Uh,
this is something that you have to admit and you have to appreciate. This is something like, if I see a beautiful face, I'm going to say she's so pretty. The flower
yeah.
is so beautiful. So what is good, and what is hot, and what is nice. Now today he has done, and please have you understood the kind of effort that has gone for this person to have this kind of a body. I think it should inspire, especially people like me who are exactly not very fit and not the way he is. We should take inspiration from him and not file cases against him. And obviously, there is no obscenity as far as the IPC sections are concerned. He is an artist. He is a creative person. An artist may paint something which is nude. As Barkha said, we have our ancient forefathers who were the best sculptors, who have got the Khajuravs done. And a person may write about some things which is there. How does it outrage somebody else's modesty? He doesn't even know who you are, Vedika. I mean, how
Okay.
can you have serious
Yeah.
section? And he
Yeah.
and if what you have said, and I did watch you on a NDTV last evening, to be very honest, and then you said the obscenity was his bum. I mean, why would you even look at it then? If you found somebody which was there and you found it obscene, I think you should not even have gone closer to see what part of the body has been exposed, because obviously you're outraged. Now you
Okay.
go so
Vedika,
much.
there was a simple thing to do. You could have just looked away if the pictures made you uncomfortable. And in fact,
Exactly,
in
exactly.
that interview to paper to Aishwarya, this is what Ranveer Singh actually said. Can we bring up that graphic? Can we come out of these pictures and bring up that graphic? He actually said, here it is. I can be naked in front of 1,000 people, just that they are the ones who get uncomfortable. This is ironically what he's actually saying in this interview that accompanies these photographs that I'm not even sure how many people have bothered to read. Nandini, like I said in the beginning, there could have been a serious conversation to be had about the politics of the male gaze and the female gaze. That female sexuality is so normalized that we barely even notice near nudes of women. That a man does this and it attracts much more attention. That says something to how the camera also constructs and deconstructs women and men. But now that it's become a police case, I don't know, is it funny? Is it sad? Is it tragic? Is it ridiculous? I mean, what do you think of these pictures, Nandini?
So strangely, Barkha, one of the pictures that you showed where Ranveer is carrying the trophy was an
Yeah?
event 2 days back, which I was the chairperson, and we met. So I saw the photographs because someone sent it to me saying, Ranveer, is going to be in, under this controversy has just started. Believe me, as soon as I opened the link, the first thought that came into my mind was, oh wow, he's looking hot. The second thought that came into my mind is exactly that. Can you imagine the amount of effort he's actually put to get that kind of body? And I was, I would love to know what his regime was and what he's done to get, this kind of a body. Ranveer has always been, in the last 10 years, we've seen him, somebody who's trying to push the envelope and push the envelope for various things. Whether it's been his movies, whether it's been his clothes, whether it's been just acceptance of Deepika when she was not, feeling well and the kind. So I think he's somebody who is future forward, and he is, I think, superb at it. And I'm totally in admiration of what he's done. I mean, I see absolute no reason for anyone to be outraged. There are, I mean, there are enough things in the papers where, people get gang raped. Today there's literally one girl who's a 16-year-old in North India, I don't want to say the state, whose family has been beaten up because they send the 16-year-old to, school. We
Yeah.
have things like that. Literally. And the only thing I will stop after this is, Vedika, what I'm going to do is, all of us are in a lot of social space, right? Every time somebody gets raped, I'm going to say the FIR can be filed. This is the lady. I found the NGO who's going to be helping you, who's going to be funding you to actually do an FIR and go to the police. And she's managed to do it for a random thing like Ranveer. I'm sure she's going to fight your case. So thank you for telling the name of your NGO, and we will follow that up zealously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the more serious point to make is where are this is a trivialization of the law. If there hadn't been an FIR, maybe we could have had a different conversation on what is the appropriate or way. There's a cultural subtext to how men and women's bodies are caught in mass media. Zainab, let me bring you in. I don't know if I read your tweet wrong, but do I remember you saying you were disgusted by these pictures? And if so, why?
Yes, I was. Okay, firstly, this entire topic can be seen in two ways. One is a very philosophical way, and one is a very legal way. Okay. Legally, I have always been of the opinion that censorship is wrong, even when M.F. Hussain is drawing, nude paintings of goddesses, or if there's a Salman Rushdie's book coming out, or if there's a movie or an ad, which has extreme sexual innuendos, I'll never say censor it. So I would not like to talk about the legal part of it, but I will speak about the philosophical part of it. And I personally don't think it's a laughing matter, because I'll tell you why. I'm sitting on a computer, okay? I can be having anyone around me. I can even say I will be having strangers around me. And a picture pops up on my Twitter feed. I haven't signed up to that magazine. I haven't paid for that magazine. I don't want to be seeing content which probably I haven't signed up for. And I have a naked man in front of me, and I don't probably want to see it. Call it my mood. See, we all have our own freedoms, right? So I'm speaking in a philosophical sense that I'm sitting here and I don't want to see a picture of a naked man early in the morning. Now, in my opinion, when Ranveer shot these nudes, for Paper Magazine, it should have been only for the subscribers of Paper Magazine. Why did they blast it all over the internet?
What about it specifically bothers you? Yes, squeamishness in the company of others. Maybe you're not comfortable with your grandmother sitting next to you. But that's true for all sexualized content on our screens, in our media. Why only Ranveer?
I'm just going to make my point. It's a quick point, okay? So it's not about Ranveer Singh. This could have been said even if there was a lady having nude pictures of herself, flash in a very aesthetic way, but all over the internet, and I haven't signed up for it. There is no disclaimer over those pictures. There is no content, graphic content warning over it. There is no NSFW warning over it. Why am I subjected to pictures I haven't even signed up for? Even if we see if I have to say it in a very simplistic way, I sign up to follow you, Barkha, because I want to read your political views. Somebody's political views, or say, for example, even creative views I don't agree with, I will not follow them. So I will not be subjected to their content. So what I'm trying to say is, if Paper Magazine did do a nude shoot, and they have all freedom to do it, Ranveer also has all the freedom to pose as naked as he wants to, as much as he wants to. But if I haven't signed up for it, why blast it? So if, and I'm respectfully saying this, if we are saying that Vedika ji is, I don't say this, others are saying that if Vedika ji is looking for a 15 minutes of fame, can we say Ranveer is not doing the same thing? This is just attention mongering. This is simple attention mongering. All I'm saying is, if these pictures were blasted all over the internet, and the whole let's break the internet concept was happening, because Paper Magazine is known for it. They've done the same with Kim Kardashian's pictures. So if they were going for it, why not a warning? Why not a graphic content warning which blurs out the picture? And if I wish to see it, I click on it. But they were just blasted over the internet. And I personally think it's disgusting. I don't want to see a nude man. It's my choice too, what I sign up for creatively to watch. If I don't like say, for example, because I have a background in history, I don't want to see the Prithviraj Chauhan picture of Akshay Kumar, because I believe it's been made with a bias. So I don't purchase the tickets, and I don't watch the film. Even if it's on an Amazon Prime, I do not go and watch the film.
Hang on, you think the police case is ridiculous, but you think you're not happy with the open access to these pictures everywhere?
I will not comment whether the police case is ridiculous, because under our law, obscenity is not allowed. You're not allowed to put out sexual material of yourself. That's why the whole porn ban. If you come to think of it, the 2015, 2005 or 2015, I'm forgetting, the porn ban was for this very reason. Now, Ranveer Singh's pictures are being consumed by kids, from kids to elderly. Now, elderly, okay, adult people we
I
can
mean,
understand, but what about kids, Barkha?
there is literally, and I don't mean this as a disrespect to Ranveer, but it is so crafted, these pictures, that they're not even designed to titillate or be erotic. They're not placed there as
Yes.
erotica. If you look at them, I mean, you can tell the difference between pornography and something that's designed to titillate. This is a highly crafted photo shoot, highly crafted. And like I think somebody said that your eye even almost goes to the carpet. Lots of people have commented as much on the carpet as they have on Ranveer Singh. But I let Kubra jump in there to Zainab's point that this is offensive. It's adult. It's pornography. It's, well, at least it's soft porn of a kind. Do you think it is, Kubra?
Yeah, it's soft porn.
I don't think it is soft porn in any way because, well, I don't know if this is going to get me into trouble. It's my birthday, so don't get me into trouble, people. I am saying...
Vedika, do not file a case against Kubra. Say promise. Okay. Kubra,
Say promise, Vedika.
Vedika,
I'm
say promise.
saying that, you know, these people who are calling this photo shoot of Ranveer are the same people who in another breath are calling it bold, are calling it expressive. I am the same person who's been called bold and, you know, experimental and whatnot, because on like television, in the format of storytelling, in the format of Indian storytelling, I was the first one to have a frontal nudity scene. I was showcasing a penis that I don't have. And I think there is so much drama around our bodies in general. So I feel that if you don't want to, you know, subscribe to something, then don't. Because like, while I agree with, you know, Zainab, you know, she's saying I didn't subscribe to it. Neither have I. But today, it's not just Ranveer's pictures that are out there that have been put up by Ranveer or by Paper Magazine. Today, it's been picked and put up by the media. It's been picked and put by comedians. So it's not necessary that it's been like thopoed on you by Ranveer or by the publication. I'd also like to say that I shot with Paper Magazine. It was my first international magazine shoot that I shot with Ashish Shah, who is one of the coolest photographers that in today's day and age, he still shoots analog. So he is the guy who has beautifully used his craft, his lighting, to use Ranveer Singh as a muse in that frame and to be able to capture the essence of that moment. Also, let me say that I'm the only, I think, I was laughing about this and telling my director this the other day because I was working on another film. And I said, I'm like the only actor who is on a popular streaming channel and I'm on Pornhub. I didn't choose to be on Pornhub, but I'm on Pornhub.
But I mean, look, like I said, there is politics of representation to unpack in a serious way. But Vedika, your case has actually made that conversation impossible, in my opinion, to have seriously. But you know what? Let's also recognize who this man is that we're talking about. He's not your classic. He's always pushed the envelope on classic notions of masculinity. The way he dresses, the clothes he wears. And I'm going to play a short clip before I come to Mrinalini, Nandini, and back to Vedika. A short clip where I was once interviewing Deepika. And Deepika made a number of points about Ranveer, but one was about the clothes he's comfortable wearing. Listen it.
Because you said, maybe कपड़ों के मामले में नहीं. Actually, to me,
जैसे मुझे लगता है कि आज घर जाने के बाद he's going to say कि मुझे ये पहनना है. ये हो सकता है, ये बहुत ही possible है.
And I was going to say that to me, that shows a man extremely comfortable in his own skin.
Absolutely.
Who does not need to prove
Correct.
machismo.
Correct. Absolutely.
So this is a funny moment, right? Nandini, if you want to just jump in there, and then I'll go to Mrinalini. Deepika Padukone was actually possibly not joking when she said that I think this gown that I'm wearing, I'll go home and Ranveer will say, let me try it out. I want to wear this, because that is how he dresses. He pushes the envelope on our classic notions of how a guy looks and a woman looks or is meant to. So go ahead on everything you've heard so far.
So, you know, I think women have got into trousers long back, right? But if you see a man who wears something which looks more feminine, yet he gets labeled. I think women have gone into have been seen in almost all movies in really small clothes. But we made Ranveer sound as if he's. We've seen lingerie ads with men, right? Lingerie
Yeah.
ads. We see swimmers, right? We don't look at the swimmers and start looking and saying that now I should file a court case against that person. We see beach ball guys. I just went to the yatra, and I mean, half the men, because they bathe in the open, they're in their kachas. So it's not like we, have not seen men in clothes which are as negligible as maybe what Ranveer has said. Yeah, have we seen a lot of nudes in India? Probably not. But I mean, we've seen enough art forms, right? In fact, if you go to JJ School of Art, it's a whole section in fine art to actually look at the anatomy and draw nudes. So,
Mm.
if I mean, should we be making it more comfortable, or should we all be going to trauma? I mean, now nobody looks at my hand and wrist and say it's exposed, right? But if you go in some of the Muslim countries, even how much exposure we do for our, let's say we wear a sleeveless or something, that's outrages their modesty. I mean, we need to ensure that we don't go more and more in a
Yeah.
become more conservative,
I,
not
I'm in fact just wondering if the environment is getting more puritanical because, Pratima Bedi streaked nude on the beaches of I forget where back in the
yeah.
day, right? And in fact, we pulled out some old covers. We may not have stopped to notice them, or maybe Vedika didn't. But we've seen actors in various stages of undress. That's Milan Soman for you, without attracting the kind of rage that we're doing. Well, that's Shakti Kapoor. I missed that one. But there's a whole bunch of them. That's the famous Madhu Sapre
Yeah.
Milind Soman one that actually attracted a case eons later. Mrinalini, I want to bring you in before I go back to Vedika. I mean, what's going on here? Why did the police accept Vedika's case? That also has to be asked.
That is exactly what my question is, that somebody may go with a complaint, but the police has to use their own judgment and the provisions of law and see why should an FIR be sort of lodged against such a person. And this is not about Ranveer Singh. This is about the role of the police in accepting and understanding what the complaint is. How are these sections applicable as far as the FIR is concerned? How are they by any standards indecent? If people do not have an aesthetic sense, if people do not know how to watch an art, a sculpture, or a painting which is there, and which is exactly what I feel that those photographs were, then they cannot be attracting such sections of the IPC and the Information Technology Act that they have filed under. Of course, it is just an FIR which has been registered. Now, the idea behind this is, I think, and as a lawyer, I'm saying, tomorrow, if I were to be his lawyer, I would really go and get it and apply for the quashing of the FIR, because it has no substance. Now that's the technical and the legal part of it. Because how has it damaged anyone is not there. And in fact, I would go one step ahead and file for defamation for making such kind of FIRs and trying to tarnish my image and my reputation in the public world, in the social world, and in the media, the way it has been sort of targeted at. So, in my understanding, we need to really be responsible, more so as lawyers, when we are going to lodge any complaints or when we are going to insist on the police filing an FIR. This is not funny. This is not fun. And this is not something that we should take in just because we need to discuss about certain things over prime time or over shows as meaningful as Mojo. So
Yeah.
my suggestion is, these are the things that need to be looked at it in a serious manner. And again, Barkha, let me repeat, I know I'm deviating from the topic. We have much more serious issues in our country that needs to be addressed. We have a whole lot of them. Let Vedika, me, and all of you come together and work for that. That is more important than having. I don't want to make any allegations. Vedika is my colleague at the bar, and I respect her.
But yet, you do you believe Vedika? You believe that if you were Ranveer's lawyer, you would sue Vedika?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
No, I would not sue a colleague, but I would definitely send defamation notices to that effect, because it has really tarnished my image. Maybe Ranveer Singh would also consider, just forget it. Why do you bother? Probably knowing, I don't know him personally, but knowing of him, he would say, it doesn't matter to me,
Yeah.
whatever they say. But as somebody can give an advice, because this has really hit the internet and etc. by the storm, and people are discussing about it. They're talking about his nudity. It doesn't probably matter to
Let
him. But this is not
Yeah.
right. Not
Let,
done.
let me let me ask Vedika this. Vedika, do you realize that to look at these pictures? Like me, I may have sort of seen some shoot while I was scrolling down Instagram, seen some Ranveer thing, paid half attention to it, got on with my life. Actors, it's a different universe, it's not my world. By filing a case against him, you have ensured that every single person is going to go and look up what that picture is. So actually, you are responsible for this picture going viral. Much more viral than maybe it would have otherwise. Do you not recognize that if Ranveer Singh's bum is globally famous today, and there's a piece on the BBC on it today, you are to blame. You. Now tell me.
No.
Sorry, Mrinal. Mrinal saying something. Unmute Mrinal. Mrinal saying something. Mrinal.
I said you're marketing it, the whole thing, Vedika, by doing this.
Yeah.
You're giving it
No.
Yeah.
publicity.
First
Yes.
of all, no.
Yes.
To be on a serious note, I am not here for publicity. I
No,
have
not
not
you.
gone to the
You're giving him publicity. I'm not saying about you.
yeah, but I have not gone to the police station with the aim to get some publicity. Like Barkha told ki I am here for 50-minute publicity. That is not my cup of tea. Because when I have done journalism for 12 years, I was offered in news channels, but I have denied because I don't like.
What?
Okay.
Just tell me why this is offended. How has this violated your modesty? Your
See, when
modesty.
I saw
You
his
have
pictures,
you have not been violated. Your private space has not been violated. He's
it
not come
is
and
Barkha,
flashed
it is
himself.
Barkha, it is. If you are saying that I can block him, अगर उन्होंने मुझे पहले बताया होता कि yes, I am going to put
वो आपको
my
फोन करके
Nude,
बोलेंगे कि आपको
whatever.
पहले कैसे
He must
बताएंगे?
have. No. उन्होंने कोई statement दिया होता कि मैं अपने naked pictures post करने वाला हूँ, I would have unfollowed him. But
अच्छा.
मैं उनकी out of his 14 million follower, I am one of them. तो
Have you
अगर
unfollowed
मुझे
him yet? अगर आपने आपने उनको अनफॉलो
unfollowed him
किया कि अभी
like
तक किया?
no, नहीं
क्यों?
किया.
क्यों नहीं किया? क्यों नहीं
बस
अनफॉलो
नहीं
किया?
किया
आप
क्योंकि
आप
मैंने
आपको
देख
लगता है वो
लिया.
क्रिमिनल
मैंने
है? आपको
ऑलरेडी
लगता है
जो
वो
चीजें
क्रिमिनल? हाँ, बताओ.
जो मुझे देखना था वो मैंने देख लिया था. अब अनफॉलो करके उसको क्या मतलब है बरखा? यहाँ फॉलो अनफॉलो का कोई सवाल नहीं है. यू आस्क्ड मी व्हाई व्हाट मेड यू outrage your modesty. So looking at his pictures, I felt ashamed. And I'm
And
on
yet,
it. Still, I'm feeling ashamed looking at his pictures. The way he has clicked it. Apart from all that 5 pictures, there are other videos and other photos also. I'm sure you must have got it on your WhatsApp or somewhere. You must have seen that pictures. I have those pictures, those videos.
I mean,
I'll
I
send
have
you
to
it now.
say, I have to say, if it weren't for you, I would never have gone back and looked at Ranveer Singh so closely. Not because I don't
Even
like him. I
I
like
even
him.
I
I
didn't.
like him. I like him. But it's been a really busy news week, and there are really more pressing issues. But Nandini, you were wanting to come in there. Nandini. Hang on, unmute Nandini, please. Nandini, go ahead. Nandini.
Barkha, I mean, I don't follow any of the actors, only exactly like this conversation. After we started, I went to the tweets to see what are people saying. And it is amazing. First of all, there are out of the tweet 15,000 likes, and there are one-fourth of them who put some comment. But if you read some of these comments, I don't know what Indian culture we are talking of. There's filth. It's abusive. First of all, it's
Yeah.
abusive. If you don't like something, you have no business to actually abuse somebody, right? You stop it. You don't look at it. Or what you can gently say. If you don't like somebody's films, you're not abusing them, right? You just say, "Acha picture acha nahi tha." But you don't abuse. The other images that they had put on top of Ranveer's image, which are all sexual, which are and which are not and which are 10 times more vulgar than the image of, and I don't think Ranveer's image is vulgar, but in the context, they're terrible. I mean, I reading that, my ears went pink rather than, watching Ranveer. I can watch Ranveer whole day like that. But to read those comments and they say this is Hindu culture, it was terrible. So I think whoever's trolling, I think you should,
Yeah.
Vedika, actually go after those people who are trolling and talking such filth. And
I've stopped going on
trying to
Twitter
say,
because I'm getting so much of negativity on Twitter. I've got headache. I've read few comments and I've got really.
yeah,
You've
but
got
can you imagine
you've
what,
got a headache. Can you
Vedika,
imagine
can you
what he's
imagine
got?
what Ranveer is going through? Can you imagine what Ranveer is going through? Because
Okay,
But
let's
imagine,
I'm
bring in
also
Zainab.
going through.
he's
I've
a
got a
showman.
point. I went to the
Okay,
police station. I've got right thing. I've done the complaint, and for that, why
Right,
I'm being
because he's a
targeted?
showman. He's done it for whatever his reason is.
This is not show. This is
After the
not
trolling that has
work of
happened,
a showman.
Vedika, you're being somewhat of a bully. You're using the law in a mindless sort of way. Is my
No,
humble
no,
opinion to
no,
you? Is
Barkha.
my humble
No.
opinion? But hang on, Zainab, because Zainab shares the sentiment of being offended, and it will not take a clear position on what she feels about your booking that case. So Zainab, you said
No.
maybe Ranveer is also doing it. Let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
You said maybe Ranveer is also doing it for his 15 seconds of fame. Maybe he's an actor. He has every right to market himself, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that the same as using a law against somebody? Is that the same as that? You know what I mean? You're doing apples and oranges comparison there, aren't you, Zainab?
No, in fact, I don't think I'm making the apples and oranges comparison. In fact, I think the other panelists are, and I'll tell you why. Because you guys are comparing erotica, thousands of years old sculptures with a Ranveer Singh. In fact, I feel bad for Vedika because I really feel she is going through the bullying because you have to understand India has given her the legal right to complain against such a person. If this law didn't exist and she was insisting on, using loopholes to attack Ranveer, then I would have said, okay, she's looking for her 15 minutes of fame. My heart goes out to her because by the end of it, that man has the fame, that man has the money, he has the adoration. There are three panelists sitting here who are totally taking his side, calling him hot, saying they like him. And whereas, there's a good sort of camaraderie between all of you telling Vedika that you can look at other things too to work towards and all that. But you have to understand this is a democracy, this is a society, and people have their different views. When you are doing something as extreme as a nude shoot, then you need to know the repercussions. He's no child. That's why I'm saying if there was a nude shoot that he wanted to go in for, then it should have been just for the subscribers of Paper Magazine. It shouldn't have been for public consumption. And if he gave out those pictures, Paper Magazine gave out those pictures, then someone like Vedika is entitled to be offended. Then you can't tell her, why did you get offended? I personally
Hmm.
feel that we are bullying Vedika, to be very honest, not me or not all of you, but anybody who's giving her hate. Because by the end of it, she's just, ek aam janta, normal nagrik, who's like, I don't want to see. See, I'll give you a very extreme sort of a picture. Say, for
Hmm.
example, in your DMs, a
Yeah.
random person sends you a picture of his backside. I won't even say a dick pic, a
Yeah.
picture of his backside. Would you like to see it? You'll be like, what the hell? How dare he flashes his mum at me? Similarly, maybe I am not such a big fan of Ranveer Singh. Maybe Vedika is not such a big fan. Why am I made to see his backside?
So
It's not about whether we.
hang on. If Ranveer Singh sent any of us in our DMs a nude
Yeah.
picture of himself, that is sexual
Yes.
abuse. Please
Yes.
let's not mix up categories. I have received dick pics on my
Yes, I
phone in an
know. Which is
organized
why.
manner. It is
Yes.
nothing short of sexual abuse. If Mr. Ranveer Singh had done that in any of our DMs, I think that would be abuse. Now, I think you raise an interesting point, though, about elitism and a kind of patronizing tone that you think we're taking as elite women with Vedika, and I want to bring in Kubra on that. There's a kind of interesting conversation there that we have a certain way of thinking, and we are imposing that on Vedika, who genuinely may think another way, and we are saying, "अरे ऐसे तो कोई सोच ही नहीं सकता." That she must be doing it for publicity. Go ahead, Kubra.
No. Vedika, see, I'm not trying to say like Vedika or like the million others out there who don't agree with the picture are wrong. I just think that we need to like control and address our own sentiments and our own emotions at a personal level. Like if I don't like something, I deal with it at my own personal level instead of saying that like people who liked it went about praising it. People who didn't like it went about shunning it. I get that. That's fine. That's fair play. It's absolutely okay. But to like drag someone into like a legal drama, to say that no, I didn't like it and this is legally not right for you to put it out there because it hurts my eyes. I think that
I
is like
agree.
taking it a bit too far. That's the only concern that I have with this whole thing. Because being an artist, I don't think, like, for example, I wouldn't tell the esteemed ladies here, or you, Barkha, for that matter, you are a journalist, you're an author. I won't tell you how to come and do your job. Similarly, I won't tell anybody else how to do their job. I'm not here to, like, take a tone and tell Vedika is wrong or Zainab is wrong because they differ from my opinion. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do here. But
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm an
It,
artist. I am an artist. I speak for myself. I'm not supporting or taking Ranveer Singh's side because, I have
yeah.
nothing else to do on my hand. I am saying, as an artist, I do have the right to
Yeah.
express myself in whichever medium, however I want
And
to. And that's entirely my choice. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say one more thing. And that was, wow, amazing. No, I forgot. But what I'm trying to say is that I get inspired by art. And, like, for example, we just, heard these lovely ladies speak about, hey, we thought about how much hard work he's put into creating that body of his. More importantly, it was put out by Paper Magazine on social media. Like any other publication would put out their covers on social media. You don't want to follow them, don't follow them. You don't want to see them, shut your phone away. Social media today has so much going on. And talking about, the conversations of being violated in your private space with DMs being sent to you,
it's
I
different.
get that all the time. I have been asked, I was asked to show people my pennies. So I actually took a stack of pennies and I sent it back to them because they didn't know this difference between pennies and penis. And I had to send them a picture of pennies. I get this all the time. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I am not trying to sympathize with him saying, oh my God, Ranveer Singh ke upar kya
And
beeti hogi?
And Kubra, I'm so glad you've raised that because that is my problem with this case, that we are actually trivializing what it actually means for a woman's modesty. I wish they would change the bloody language of this law, but what it actually means for a woman to be violated, we are trivializing that. Vedika, I have to start closing. I have one short question for you. Are you going to go through with this case? Are you
Yes,
determined to chase it?
yes,
Okay, let me
100%.
ask you
He
this. Let
will
me ask you this.
apologize in public.
Let me ask you this. If Ranveer Singh magically were to get your phone number from somewhere and call you just now and say, hey, Vedika, let's have a chat. Let's have a 2-minute chat, you and I. What would you say? आप क्या बोलेंगी रणवीर को?
Let's see in court. Why will I speak to him in person? Not interested.
Suppose he calls you and you would pick up the phone.
It's okay. I'll talk to him. What he wants to say, I'll listen to him. I'll
But
see
you will
what I
insist, but you will insist कि वो sorry बोले.
If he will ask me something, I'll answer that. I don't think if he haven't called me since I'm 40 today, so why will he call me suddenly? Yes, Vedika, I'm Ranveer. I don't see a
Because
point calling him.
because now you've taken him to the
I'm,
cops.
no, I don't think so. Seriously, I'm just
Okay.
Vedika Chaube,
Okay.
Advocate Vedika Chaube, junior of respected Madam Mrinalini Deshmukh.
Okay. Respected Madam Rinalini Deshmukh, what do you have to
Yes.
say in the end before we close?
I think, and I think Barkha, you've put it absolutely right. That these sections are to be used with a lot of seriousness and for a definite purpose. We cannot trivialize it. And I personally, as a lawyer, as a mother, as a woman, I do not find anything which is unesthetic or which is anyway obscene or vulgar in that sense of the word. It is his mode of expression. An artist, whether he's an actor, whether he's a writer, whether he's a painter, sculptor, author, whatever, has his own rights of expressing himself. It is not hurting anybody's sensibilities, religious sentiments, like somebody had done, the Durga and all that stuff. So he has done something for himself and he's done it about himself. How is it in any way obscene from any standards? And I think really we need to be very careful. And I would just suggest that these things, whenever we think of filing it, we should at least have one more thought before going ahead and making such cases, because I don't think that they would even stand in a court of law forget from the social spectrum that we are talking about, is my honest view about it.
Okay, thank you, ladies. It's been a really interesting conversation. As I said, in the absence of that police case, there could have been a lot more to have been discussed about culture and representation and mass media and how women's bodies and men's male bodies are depicted. But in the meantime, Kubra said, happy birthday, Vedika. Think about it again. I'm sure you have better cases and more important cases as well. Thank you, Mrinalini, Nandini, and Zainab. And well, agreeing to disagree is fine. You don't have to like the pictures. You can think they're a marketing gimmick. You can think they're really self-conscious, really crafted. It's the police case that actually makes the debate very, very different. But let's see where this goes. And thank you very much. Have a great evening. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.